Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, Hanover Customs Dr. David Stair found dead at home, no foul play suspected. Long-serving Customs of Hanover, Dr. Stair has died. Stair was reportedly found slumped over in the bathroom of his Ponte-Peace home in Hopewell in the parish late Wednesday afternoon. According to reports, co-workers went to check on him after he did not show up for work on Wednesday morning, and the calls to his cell phone went unanswered. They reportedly found his house open and upon entering discovered him inside the bathroom. Following the discovery of his body, a police team led by Superintendent Andrew Nish, the police commander for Hanover, went to the location, which has been cordoned off to facilitate the processing of the scene. Foul play is not suspected. Stair, a medical doctor, worked at the Sandy Bay Health Center, where he was highly revered by staff and the patients. Motorcyclists urged to stop using pedestrian bridge in Troy Trelawney. The National Works Agency is urging motorcyclists to desist from using the recently installed footbridge in Troy Trelawney. The temporary footbridge was installed in December 2024, while the failed Troy Bridge is being reconstructed. The collapse of the bridge disconnected the community of Troy from neighboring communities in Manchester, displacing several residents, including farmers and students. Community Relations Officer at the NWA's Western Region, Janelle Ricketts, says that the pedestrian bridge is meant to give temporary relief to the scores of pedestrians who access the area daily until the Troy Bridge is completed in July 2025. However, she says motorcycle riders have been observed using the pedestrian facility. She says use of the bridge by motorcyclists put pedestrians at risk, especially small children who use the bridge. Ricketts is suggesting that motorcyclists use alternative routes. The Troy Bridge project is being undertaken at a cost of $231 million. Toy guns seized at a corporate area primary school, police concern. Head of the St. Andrews South Police Division, Superintendent Damon Manderson, has raised a concern about the presence of toy guns in schools following the confiscation of 4 at a corporate area primary school on Wednesday. Speaking with the news, Manderson noted that the police have seen toy guns turning up in schools across the corporate area, describing it as a problem. He said plans are afoot to address the issue. Regarding Wednesday's incident, the news understands that the police were called to the primary school over the toy guns and that some students found in possession of them were spoken to. The students were also counseled about bullying. The toy guns were seized. Manderson told the news that a senior policeman probed the matter and he expects to get a report on Thursday. The news gathered that 6 toys were also seized. However, Manderson said he could not speak to it. Police charge a St. Elizabeth man with possession of identity information. A St. Elizabeth man has been charged after he was allegedly found with a lottery scamming paraphernalia. 25-year-old Dadrick Francis of Parker District, Santa Cruz, is charged with knowingly possessing identity information. On January 21, the police went to a house occupied by Francis and several others armed with a search warrant. The police say during their search of a room which was occupied by Francis, a book was found with information noting names, international addresses, telephone numbers, banking information, and the social security numbers of persons living overseas. The police say Francis was unable to provide any lawful reason for possession of this information, and as such, he was arrested and subsequently charged. 2 farmers accused of trafficking ganja in St. Elizabeth. 2 farmers are now in police custody after they were allegedly caught with 15 pounds of ganja in St. Elizabeth. They are 45-year-old Cameron Hutchinson and 54-year-old Vinroy Powell, both of Comapen District, St. Elizabeth. The police say on February 2, about 12:20 p.m., a gray BMW motorcar was signaled to stop in the Woods district. During a search of the vehicle, a total of 15 pounds of vegetable matter resembling ganja was reportedly found in the trunk of the car. Both men were later charged for possession of ganja, dealing in ganja, and trafficking ganja. Suspect caught after 4 years on the run. A Clarendon man who has been on the run for more than 4 years has been charged by detectives after being arrested on January 30. He is 26-year-old Leonardo Mathra, otherwise called Didi, a laborer of Logwood district. He was nabbed while trying to flee the island and is subsequently charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. The charges related to an incident in his community on April 8, 2020. Reports from the Maypen police are that about 7:10 p.m., a police team reportedly observed the Mathra discharging a round from a firearm. He reportedly discarded the weapon when the police attempted to accost him and fled. The weapon was retrieved and found to be a .38 revolver containing 5.38 rounds. Detectives charged the Mathra for the offenses on Tuesday after interviewing him in the presence of his attorney. Businessman arrested after trying to pawn stolen items. Detectives assigned to the St. Andrew South Police Division have charged a man with malicious destruction of property, simple larceny, and receiving stolen property. He has been identified as 23-year-old Deshaun Johnson, otherwise called Desh, a businessman of Slepin Road, Kingston 5. According to reports from the Duhaney Park Police, the charges stem from an incident on January 5. It is alleged that Johnson, along with 2 other men, forced open the driver's door of a motor vehicle, entered it, and damaged the key barrel of the car, rendering it immobile. The men then stole a bag containing 1 black Canon R5 digital camera, along with a tripod and 2 digital microphones from the vehicle. Detectives probing the case nabbed Johnson after he was identified via CCTV footage that showed him attempting to pawn the stolen items. He was charged after a question and answer session. His court date is being finalized. Vendors furious over market fees. Approximately 2 months after designated vending spaces were clearly outlined along Beckford, Princess, and Haywood Streets in downtown Kingston, some vendors are expressing anger at the authorities for demanding they pay the requisite fees. The aggrieved vendors described as brutal and unfair the tactics allegedly employed by municipal authorities to collect fees. A badness them I use, one irate vendor told the news. You wouldn't even understand what going in a town from December. A $6,000 every higgle have to pay, the vendor lamented. Vendors operating in designated spaces in downtown Kingston are required to pay an annual registration fee of $6,000 and a weekly fee of $1,000. However, the vendors have resisted attempts by the authorities to collect the fees, claiming the methods being used are coercive and unclear. This not happen nowhere else. At the first in a history this are going with brutal force. So what if the people not have it? How it really go? Another vendor asked. Vendors alleged that those who fail to pay their fees have had their goods seized by men purportedly working for the Kingston and the St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. Them take away people things if them not pay, but them a come on one day when one set of people there. Them now come on Saturday when the rest of the people them there, said a Beckford Street vendor on the brink of tears. And my youth them me a hustle for, she shouted. When I have no baby father mind we, I will have to do it myself, and when I not come, I will brute force. Repeated attempts by the news to get a comment from the KSAMC CEO Robert Hill were unsuccessful, and the calls to Mayor Andrew Swibby went unanswered. While some vendors are outraged, others have decided to comply. Them keep them meeting them, but the vendor them not understand why them a pay the money. If me think a man just a collect my money if he pocket it, me not go and pay. But when them come, me just pay them because it's them or somebody else, a male vendor reasoned. One vendor acknowledged the necessity of the fees, stating, they make Beckford Street a selling zone. Normally, if it never be a selling zone, we couldn't stay like this. Then put a yellow line and put everybody behind it. So them never did a collect. this may now come up, registration and collect $1,000 every week. Them say if them can't find it Friday, they can pay it Saturday. Nothing wrong with that. She added, if you don't have it, fine, because them now go around with no bulldozer and crash your things. I hears we yourself for the road, free of charge. Nothing wrong if the government take $1,000. Because listen, what I'm trying to tell you is that KSAMC lost millions of dollars under the previous government. He has to come and collect money. See Perennial Charles Arcade burned down. Where them going to get the money from? However, another vendor was skeptical, stating, they can't give us an explanation what that money is for. From the 1st of December, they have been collecting $6,500 to register. And then every week them come and I collect $1,000. I just pay it because they said I should pay. Last December, Swaby stated that a major outcome of reorganizing the vending streets in downtown Kingston has been a significant improvement in the flow of vehicular traffic. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.